is Danny. What happened that night in August 1990 still gives me nightmares, and I'm not even sure what we really saw. I was 15 then, hanging out with my mates Jake and Tommy near Station Road in Burstwick, just outside Hull. It was either the 18th or 25th of August. I can't remember exactly which, but I remember it was a Saturday night. One of those warm summer evenings where nobody wanted to go home. We'd been sitting on this old wooden bench by the road for about an hour, just talking rubbish and sharing a packet of cheese and onion crisps. Behind us was the playing field where we'd spent countless afternoons kicking a football around. That summer it looked just the same. Perfectly trimmed grass, clean and open like always. The council had kept it in great shape and everything felt just right. The sun had set around 7:30, but it wasn't completely dark yet. You know how summer nights are in England, that weird twilight that seems to last forever. Jake had been telling us about weird things happening around the village. His older brother worked at the pub and had heard from some of the locals that people had been seeing strange figures in the fields at night. Someone had found clothes stolen from washing lines, and there were reports of break-ins at the old farm sheds. Probably just kids mucking about, Tommy had said. But even he sounded uncertain. That's when I heard it. A rustling sound behind us, like someone walking through tall grass. But it wasn't the quick, light sound of an animal. It was slow, deliberate, heavy. "Did you hear that?" I asked, turning around on the bench. "Hear what?" Tommy said, not bothering to look. The rustling stopped. Complete silence. Then I heard it again. Definitely footsteps, but wrong somehow. Too slow, too heavy, and there was something else. A kind of dragging sound between each step, like whoever it was couldn't lift their feet properly. I stood up and looked over the back of the bench toward the field. The tall grass was swaying slightly, even though there was no wind. Something was moving through it, creating a path. "Look!" I shouted, grabbing Jake's shoulder so hard I probably left bruises. About 50 meters away was this figure, but it wasn't normal. It wasn't human. The thing was tall. Way too tall to be a person, maybe 15 feet, maybe 20. It was hard to tell in the dim light, but it towered above the grass like a twisted tree. In the twilight, it looked gray or white, like it was wearing some kind of pale clothing that hung off its frame. But the arms, God, the arms were what got me. They hung down way too far, almost to where its knees should have been. And they were thin. So thin they looked like they might snap in a strong wind. "What the hell is that?" Jake whispered. I could hear the fear in his voice. Tommy finally turned around and saw it too. "That's not possible," he said, but his voice was shaking. "People don't get that tall. That's not real." The thing wasn't moving toward us, just standing there among the tall grass. We could see it swaying slightly, and every few seconds one of those long arms would move, reaching out to touch the grass around it. It moved like it was feeling its way, like it couldn't see properly. We watched it for what felt like forever, but was probably only 10 or 20 seconds. None of us said a word. We just stared, frozen in place. Then we heard something, a sound. Not quite human, but not animal either. A low, keening noise like someone crying or moaning. It was coming from the direction of the figure. That's when it started moving. Not walking exactly, but sort of swaying from side to side as it came toward us through the grass. Those long arms were moving with it, and that horrible sound was getting louder. "Run!" I yelled, and we took off down Station Road faster than we'd ever run in our lives. We didn't stop until we reached Jake's house, about half a mile away. We were all gasping for breath, looking over our shoulders to make sure nothing had followed us. "What was that thing?" Tommy kept asking, pacing back and forth in Jake's front garden. "People don't get that tall. That's impossible. And did you hear that noise it was making?" Jake was white as a sheet. "We need to tell someone," he said. The police or something. But what could we tell them? That we saw a giant figure in a field? They'd think we were taking the piss or had been drinking. For weeks afterward, we couldn't stop talking about it. We made up all sorts of theories. Maybe it was someone on stilts playing a prank or some kind of weird scarecrow that got blown around by the wind. But deep down, we all knew what we'd seen didn't make sense. The proportions were all wrong. The way it moved was wrong. And that sound, that awful sound, wasn't human. We started avoiding that stretch of Station Road after dark. If we had to walk past the field, we'd go in groups and we'd run. Other kids started talking about seeing strange things too. But the adults just dismissed it as teenage imagination. Before you go, if you love this kind of terrifying true encounters, please like and subscribe for more chilling stories from the shadows. Your support helps us bring more unexplained horrors to light.